Okay, guys. So I know I'm not normally a spoiler kind of guy, but episode 3 of The Last of Us, I feel like I definitely have to. Okay, so I just wanted to give you guys a spoiler warning, this episode, I'm gonna have some spoilers. If you don't mind being spoiled, then feel free to continue watching. Though, if you are, planning on watching the episode and have not watched it yet, go watch the episode. It's on HBO, Crave, all those things. But yeah, this episode I feel like I need to spoil. So let's get into it. Starting now. Okay, so The Last of Us episode 3. This was by far my favorite episode. 9 out of 10. If you just came here for the number, 9 out of 10 was my ranking, and now time to get into actual spoiler territory stuff. Okay, so this episode had the most amount of changes from the the video game to the now live-action series. They did keep some things in, like at the end of the episode, Ellie and Joel got their outfits that they are currently wearing during this footage here. But they had some big changes. To start it off, they didn't really start off the episode like they have been the other two, where they start off with a little snippet of before the virus completely spread. This time, they started us off with Joel and Ellie. And I'm gonna have to say, they turned Ellie into a massive, and I do mean massive, jerk. She is so rude. Like, she's absolutely such a jerk. She's just like, yeah, Joel, screw you. It wasn't my fault that Tess died. But in the game, she's all like, oh, I'm sorry, Joel. And he's like, no, shut your mouth. But in this, it's all, oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Joel. But screw you. It wasn't my fault. Stop blaming me. And they tried to do it at the end of the episode where she tries to apologize and he stops her, but that doesn't work now, because in this, she, at the start of the episode, goes, hey Joel, screw you, I didn't do anything. And it definitely weakens Ellie for me in this episode. I definitely thought that they were going to keep the characters relatively similar, but they did not really care too much to keep Ellie similar. She's now just an absolute jerk to Joel, and it's kind of insulting, because she has the whole point of the game is that she has a really good bond. So I don't really like that. That was the main change that I disliked in this episode. Also, she has a clip-on flashlight, and Joel doesn't, and she's the only character in the game who does not have a clip-on flashlight. Also, correction to the last episode. I said that Joel lost his assault rifle. No, the strap broke. He still has the assault rifle, but he gets rid of it at the start of the episode. So, either way, on to the actual interesting part of this review, the major changes. The major changes being with Bill's story. First of all, they completely show everything with Frank. Their relationship, and the span of them spending the years together in the apocalyptic world. They show how Bill, seized the town. They showed tons of different things. And, they showed tons of different and interesting things. Very interesting things. They showed stuff with Frank, and that was definitely the most interesting part of the episode. It was most of the episode. So, what truly interested me is how far they strayed away from the source material. We don't really know too much about Frank, but we do know one thing. Frank gets infected and dies. And this, as I've said, spoilers, Frank dies of cancer, technically. We'll get into the technically part later. He technically dies of cancer, and that was actually incredibly interesting. It was because in the series you don't really see anybody really being affected by any other illness other than this new virus. And it's very interesting to see that, oh, wow, yeah, I guess viruses aren't cured in this world, you know? In this universe, there is still cancer, you know? There's still illnesses that will kill people that aren't just, the virus. It's like, that was interesting to me. I liked seeing that. Also, this episode was definitely, as Aria386 said to me after watching this episode with me, is the most grounded of the episodes. It definitely feels like the most like The Last of Us, despite straying the farthest away from the source material. There's definitely some changes that I didn't necessarily like in this episode, specifically with Ellie and Joel, but boy, did they do the stuff with Bill and Frank very well. It was very amazing to see their relationship over the span of all those years that they were in this apocalyptic world, you know? It's interesting to me. And yeah, they did it very well. The only thing that I'd say that diehard Last of Us fans would probably dislike is that Bill dies before Joel and Ellie make it. But it's such a cool... They did it in such a good way, you know? It's like, Bill isn't dying of the infection, and he knows that Bill is dying. So they can't just, do it like in the game where they can't just do it like they did in the game where the character is dead and Bill reacts to it there. And Joel already knows Frank's existence and knows where Bill lives, you know? Everything has that, doesn't follow completely that original source material, but it does have something that definitely is incredibly interesting. They really follow through with the story of Bill and Frank, and it's amazing to see what we did get there. That material that we did get was all original, that story with Frank and Bill, and it was great. I liked seeing that, and the way they died, very sad. Definitely by far the best episode of the three. I enjoyed that episode the most. It felt the most like The Last of Us. It was very grounded, for a zombie apocalypse. It was there, and I'm a sucker for romance and stories, so But yeah, that's my review on it. I think this is by far the best episode. IGN gave it way too high, though. It's still, the problems with it definitely are that it strayed so far away from the source material that for an adaptation of this game, it wasn't a good or faithful adaptation. Did I like the episode? Yeah, that was my favorite one so far. Also, Ellie in the game is irritating because she goes up ladders before me. And this, she's irritating just because she's an absolute jerk. And I do not like that. I do not like that at all. But yeah, thank you for watching this quick little review on The Last of Us Episode 3. Definitely my favorite episode by far. Sorry that it's spoilers for anybody who still watched through the review despite me saying, hey, don't, because there's spoilers. Because, that is, unfortunate. I'm sorry, guys. I just really needed to talk about the plot of this episode. It was really good. Go watch it, Go watch the show for yourself. Watch it with me weekly. I watch it every Monday, and then you'll get my review probably every Tuesday until the show ends. So, yeah. Have fun. Enjoy.